So in my hand here is the Mf8 8x8 from Mf8. Now I already own the Mf9 9x9, so in this video I'm going to review the Mf8 and sort of compare and contrast with the Mf9, and kind of give you the idea if you're looking for a big cube, which one should you get. So let's get started. Okay, so I am recording this video on December 25th, or in other words, Christmas Day, and I was gifted this cube today, and as a result I've only done one solve on it. But that being said, in an 8x8 you do have to make an awful lot of moves to solve the cube, so I should have a pretty good understanding of the performance of it and the feel of it. So I'll briefly review those, and then we'll get to some patterns and a solve after that. So for the feel of this cube, it is kind of scratchety, specifically in the inner two layers. In fact, you can kind of hear it in the turning. It's kind of catchy and scratchy, if that makes any sense. But for the outer layers, they are really smooth in my opinion. And if you've seen any videos about the Mf9, or maybe you own one or have felt one, then you know that this cube is really smooth. So I do have the Mf9 in stickerless and the Mf8 in stickered, just because why not? I wanted a stickered version of the big cubes. And this Mf9 is much smoother all around than this Mf8 is, so I guess I'm not totally sure if that's just as a result of it being stickered, or if that's just because it's an 8x8. So for the performance of this cube, it can pretty easily do about one edge, as you can see there. But anything beyond that sort of causes like a popping hazard, and as you can see there, it sort of just does that thing, where it doesn't really churn, but I also don't really want to churn it any further, because it could be rather catastrophic if an 8x8 exploded like that. Now, in comparison to the Mf9, it is kind of a similar situation. One piece is pretty comfortable, and two pieces is really asking a lot, where you just sort of get a thing where I don't really want to turn it too much further than that. Now, most people don't speed solve cubes bigger than a 7x7, but that being said, this 8x8 and the 9x9 for that matter are both very speed solvable because of one thing, and that's their size. And if I compare this 8x8 to this 3x3, as you can see, it's really not that different. It's probably it's basically just one 8x8 layer more than a 3x3. So if you think about it, this 8x8 is very small compared to like previous 8x8s from like companies like Yushin and stuff. So this cube is very handheld. You don't have to table solve it. In fact, it would be kind of weird if you table solved it because of how small it actually is. But if you can hold this in your hands comfortably, which you'd have to have awfully small hands to not be able to, then this cube is very speed solvable. Okay, now the cube is fully scrambled up, as you can see here, so now we will jump on into the solve. And we are done in about 18 minutes, which sort of makes sense. It takes me just under a half hour to solve a 9x9, and it takes me around 7 or so, maybe 8 minutes to solve a 7x7. So I guess that kind of makes sense, 8x8 right in the middle. Okay, so hopefully you enjoyed this video about the Mf8 8x8, and hopefully you got something out of it, and I will see you next time. Bye.